Hello, everybody. This is MoveEasy Yoga with Thea, and it is March 2nd, 2021. And we're going to start in the ordinary fashion, lying on your back, supine, with your knees bent, or you could have your knees up on a chair, bent in on a chair. You could extend your legs if you liked, but if you do that, I would want you to have some rolled up towel under your lower back, just because extending your legs will involve your lower back. Just staying here for a minute and watching your breath, the breath you came in with, without trying to change anything. Just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing where you are, remembering why you're here. Feel the floor, feel your yoga mat, the floor supporting you, coming up to meet your back. Saying to yourself as a mantra, I love my body loves me. Saying to yourself, my body is an amazing healing machine, given the opportunity. A couple more breaths. Bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers or stack your hands. And from here, we're going to do a vagus nerve reset. I'm not going to move anything but your eyeballs. Keep everything in place. If you'd like to, instead of having your hands behind your back, you could have a therapy ball, a pair of therapy balls under your occipital ridge at the base of the spine, base of the skull, sorry. And look, move your eyeballs, shift your eyeballs to the right, and look. While you're looking to the right with your eyeballs, wait for involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Now, if you're just starting to do this, if Annie, it may not come for a while, but I mean like weeks. So keep it up. You're training your vagus nerve to reset itself from fight and flight to rest and restore. This is the easiest way I know to do it. Your entire yoga practice actually will do this, but this move is a quick fix. Come on back to the center, shift your eyeballs to the left, and wait for an involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Return to center. Do this 2 more times without my cueing. Right, left, right, left. I will wait. Watch for the involuntary sigh, swallow, yawn, or gulp. Finish up. And then keep your arms where they are, or your therapy balls where they are. And then we're going to do what's called head ramping. This is for reversing text neck and rounded shoulders. You're just going to press the occipital ridge, the base of your skull, into the floor, down. What happens is the skull slides along the floor away from your shoulders, and your chin drops shortly. You could actually have yawning here too. Anytime you're messing with the occipital ridge, okay, are also affecting the vagus nerve. So you do that and hold for a couple breaths, release it, and then you want to come back and do the same thing about 4 more times. So remember, you're just going to press the back of the skull into the floor, or the therapy balls into the floor. The skull slides away from the shoulders. Chin drops. Hold for a couple breaths. You should feel a nice stretch along the cervical spine. And do that 3 more times. This is something you can do seated or standing as well. Although it's best supine, where you can press into the floor. If I were you, if you had rounded shoulders, most of us do, and if you're working often on a computer or a cell phone, I would do this every day to have a practice. You can do this before you get out of bed even. I would do this 4 or 5 times early in the day, and maybe 4 or 5 times later in the day. The next thing we're going to do is just breath work, some breath work. Let's go ahead and do the proning. So get up on your hands and knees, the proning breath work. On your hands and knees, drop to your elbows. Your hands can be forward, your hands could be in a triangle, it doesn't matter. You're just trying to make a nice straight line and open up the back of the lungs, basically. So from here, let's just do an awareness of breath today. Nothing fancy, just breathing in and breathing out. Now, if you have COVID, if you know someone who has COVID, this is a great breathing practice, because one of the things about COVID is it drops into the bottom of the bottom lobe of the lungs, and it doesn't get out. So when you're on a slant like this, it helps the congestion drain. And if you have a partner or a friend or a child who can slap you on the back at the lower lobe, that will help too. I tried slapping myself while I was doing this, and it doesn't work very well. You can get a little bit, but not much. Staying here for a while, breathing in and out. You could have any breathing, any of the breathing practices we practice supine, you could do here. And the truth is, they will reach the lower lung lobes easier when you're prone. Nice deep breath. A couple more breaths. If you have someone who's, I think someone today said a friend was on a ventilator. So I'm not going to suggest what to do with people on a ventilator particularly, but if you have someone with COVID, you could have them also put a pillow underneath their chest here and then just stay there, live there. One of the first things they do in hospitals is turn people on their stomachs now so that they're not compressing the lower lung lobes. Now go ahead and roll onto your back. Just come out of this. Say a little prayer about COVID for yourself and others. Onto your back. We're going to do a basic hypopressive. This hypopressive series, I'm telling more probably for Annie today, but it's a series that helps with strengthening the core, the pelvic floor, and it helps with organ prolapse, which a lot of people, as we get older, the organs start dropping. Well, this helps pull them back up where they belong. And the other thing it helps with is incontinence. It helps with leaking and, that feeling of needing to go pee as you start toward the bathroom or even when you're not starting toward the bathroom. So and I know this for a fact because I have incontinence, and I know that when I do these exercises, anything similar to this with my holding the breath out, you'll see in a minute, Annie, I can control it. But if I forget, or if I'm lax about that, it comes back. So even if you don't have incontinence now, you can prevent yourself from getting incontinence because it will come. I think for most of us, if we stick around for very long. Go ahead and bring your arms up over your chest as if you're, I'll tell you about the feet in a minute. Yeah, arms up overhead. Your heels are on the floor, your toes are up. That helps connect with the core or the pelvic floor. Your arms are hugging a tree, and then flip your hands over so that they are facing the ceiling. And now you can activate your arms and your shoulders by pressing the scapula, the shoulder blades, into the floor, and then pressing your hands up toward the ceiling. So you've activated that. And now we're going to do 3 breaths, 3 ordinary breaths, and then hold no breath. Hold the inhale out after an exhale. Hold the inhale out for a count of 15. Stay as long as you can. You don't have to stay till 15, especially if you're new. You may not be able to stay. 3 breaths. Inhale. Then exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale all the way out. This is the 3rd breath. All the way out. Hold your breath out. No breath. I'm going to count to 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And inhale and exhale. Arms come down, feet can come down. Go ahead and extend your legs. We're going to do cross the ankles. So cross the right ankle over the left. Bring your arms up overhead like you're hugging a tree and then stack. So your right ankle is on top, but your left hand. And then bring your arms overhead. So you're stretching along your spine. And 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath, inhale. And exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3. You should feel your core here. 4, and your rib cage spread. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Release, inhale and exhale. Switch sides, left ankle over right. Bring your arms up above your head like you're hugging a tree. And this time, the right hand is on top. And then go overhead, arms overhead. 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way out. Hold your breath out, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Inhale and exhale and come. Let it all go. Let it all go. We're going to do, just relax there for a minute. Feel the core engaged, alive, working. And now we're going to do a sponge ball series. I kind of wish I hadn't planned on this, but it's hard for me to get out of that groove once I have a plan because Annie's here and she doesn't have a sponge ball, but I hope, Annie, that you'll get one. They're pretty easy to come to buy. I think they're about $10. You're going to lie on your belly with the sponge ball or the scrunched up towel, hopefully in a pillowcase, so it stays there. You're going to put that right under your belly button. We're going to start right there. And now actually move it. Well, let's just do right directly into the belly button. So when you're here, you're prone. This is a prone position. You can be up on your elbows or you can be down with your arms crossed, hands crossed, and resting here. And I just want you to rest for a while. This should feel very strange. It may feel very strange because this is an area that doesn't get touched much. So all these organs in the abdomen, who actually are longing for touch, a gentle touch like a sponge ball, that you don't want to get sucked in the gut. But this kind of practice is very helpful for the organs, and it's also helpful for breathing, for the respiratory system. You'll see in a minute, we'll be moving farther up with the ball. But while you're here, compress for a while and just do that, and then start to contract and relax. So while you're still here, take an inhale, hold that for a minute, or maybe not a minute, but a couple, hold it. It's a contraction, and then release it. And so do that about 4 more times. So you want to listen to your body. If you want to make these movements small, if it's too uncomfortable. contract, and then relax. When you haven't moved yet, we're going to be moving in a minute. When you're finished with that, try to make a small upward and downward movement. You may want to get up on your toes like Kathy is. This can be very, very small, but hopefully some movement up and down, a little bit below the belly button, a little bit above the belly button. Up and down. And if you want me to look at you, you'd have to change where your screen was so that I could see you on the floor. But if you look at Kathy, that's probably enough. But sometimes I'm able to give feedback to people if their screens are right. Up, back and forth, up and down. Now do a side-to-side movement. Side to side. You can even roll a little bit, dip a little bit to the side if you want. And then over to the other side and dip over there. But make this as big or small as is comfortable for you. So this is very foreign territory for some people who would, if I touch someone on the belly here, they'd say, don't do that. Don't touch me. After you've done that for a while, that's the last move at that location. You're going to go down below the belly button. So the ball or the scrunched up towel. Don't ever try this on a hard therapy ball. It's too much. Is down below the belly button. And we're going to do the same thing. The first thing you're going to do is nothing. You're just going to compress. Feel the ball going deep into this cavity that holds your organs. It's releasing the tissue. If you have gut issues, GI issues, this is a really great practice. And it's a simple practice, but simple but profound. So first, just compressing and staying here and letting the ball go deeper and deeper into the cavity and into the tissues around the cavity, around the organs. And then whenever you feel like it, you can start going up and down. It's a small up and down. You might, if you need to pee, you should go pee because this will awaken the bladder. Please take a break and go pee. After you've done that 6 or 9 times, and start to go side to side. You can see this is a very simple practice. As you go side to side, you can go farther and farther. You can dip a little bit to the side, towards the floor. Dip your entire body to the floor, towards the floor. Yummy. We haven't done contract, relax yet, I don't think. So come back to the center. The contract, relax is you're just staying at the beginning position. Your ball is staying in one place. What you're the change is as you inhale, at the end of the inhale, you contract and well, you've been contracting as you inhale. And at the end of that, you pause and hold. Hold the contraction. And then eventually you let it go. And you can repeat that a couple of times. Contract, hold, and then relax. Contract, hold, and relax. One more time, contract, hold, and relax. Now move your ball up to the last location, your ball or your scrunched up towel, the last location, which is just above the belly button. And this is where you're really working on the lung capacity, your lung capacity. And this would be a good exercise for COVID. To prevent COVID, or to maybe not prevent it, but maybe either treat it or become stronger in your respiratory capacity so that you can fight COVID. So you're here, you're not doing anything, just nothing, do nothing. It's called compression. Just breathing. So you're not holding your breath. If I ever say do nothing, I'm not telling you to hold your breath. I'm asking you to do nothing except breathe. So if I want you to hold your breath, I will tell you. Mainly in hypopressives, mainly not in anything else. We can go ahead and do the contract, relax here. So it's the same thing. Take an inhale. Hold at the top. It's a contraction at the top. And then exhale and allow the breath to leave the body. And do that about 6 times. Remember the hold. So Annie will get the benefits of this practice, even though she's not using a sponge ball. But the sponge ball would improve her experience. Finish up. And then when you're finished, start moving your body up and down. You want to be on your elbows, maybe on your toes or knees. Moving up and down. This opens up the upper back. You're opening up the rib cage. In the rib cage, you're working the rib cage, but you're also affect the upper back and the lower lobes of the lung, which is, critical these days. This is a COVID class. But we're always concerned about COVID. I tell you, when I started having my reactions, I started doing my proning breath, COVID breath. I did Viloma. I like Viloma breathing, but I was on my hands and knees and then dropped my elbows and then spent some time there. The next thing you're going to do is side to side. And this is the last in this series. You can see you do the same thing at 3 different locations. If you have GI issues or respiratory issues, this would be a great daily practice. Okay, finish up. Find your way onto your back. Just resting and asking yourself how that felt, how that series felt. Just checking in with your organs and your lungs. Just resting, just rest for a bit. You could hug your knees to your chest if you could do something, a little something if you wanted. But I want you to notice what happened. How does it feel? Does it feel different? No right answer. And then I want you to put your sponge ball in the middle of your back, just at the near the bottom of the shoulder blades, not the hips, not the lumbar. It's farther up than that, Kathy. So almost think of it as between your shoulder blades, maybe. I'm going to show you how to do a chest opener. It should be probably should be farther than that, if you can. You might have to put something, a brick or something under your head. Oops, there she goes. So you want to open the chest and open the upper back out over the balls, because we're working on chest today. Chest and upper back. So there you are. You've put your therapy balls, or in Annie's case, her little rolled up towel. She's going to create an opening. Kathy's going to create an opening. Now, if I would place my sponge ball a little higher than Kathy's, because I want the chest to be open. Otherwise she's in her middle back. I want her in her upper back. But actually, by the way, anywhere along here is going to just be great. So it's not, in a way, there are no wrong answers. So bring your arms out in a T just to open the chest. You should feel the shoulder blades coming together over the ball. Stay here and breathe. Chest opener with a sponge ball. And this is not a go anywhere. This is a static chest opener over your sponge ball. But it's great, a great way to open up the chest. And it always, all of this chest work will help with your posture. Staying here for a couple more breaths. There are, we could make a little practice out of this and do some arm work here, but we're not going to, because I want you to come up to seated now, floor seated. Floor seated in a cross-legged position. We're going to do side bend. Annie, I recommend to people that they start sitting on the floor as often as they can. So a lot of our class is on the floor, just to encourage people to do that. I think it's the secret sauce to aging gracefully, is to sit on the floor. If you're crossing your legs and they're up high, the knees are up high, you may want to sit on a blanket or a brick, a couple bricks. You may want, or you may want to put a towel or something under your knees so you're not working so hard. We're going to just do a side bend, floor seated side bend, crawling your right arm along the mat. I do this often in the class. Your right arm crawls along the mat, your left arm comes up and over. Keep your seat on your hips on the floor, both of them. So it's not, you're not rocking and rolling over your hips. They stay on the floor. And just stay here and breathe. We're timing for 40 seconds because this is a bone building pose. So we have to we want to stay long enough for the osteophytes to start working. And now go ahead and take your elbow forward and feel another stretch along the back of your armpit, along the latissimus dorsi. This is a muscle that works hard for us. It's often neglected, but we try to get it in the side bend. Come on up, elbow first, and then torso all the way up, other side. Sliding the arm along the floor and bringing the other arm up and over. And staying here and breathing. Remember to keep your hips, both of your hips on even on the floor. You can rotate your cervical spine if you want. And then go ahead and bring your elbow forward and feel the new stretch along the back of the armpit. You're still side bending, but you're adding this stretch. Elbow first comes up and then the arm comes up. We're going to move on. I wish I could do that twice, but it took a long, the abdominal series actually takes a big chunk of time out of the class, but you can do that twice at home. I love it. I love that movement. The next thing we're going to do is a floor seated spine twist, just taking your, still cross-legged, but changing the cross of your legs, taking your left hand onto your right knee, and then your right arm behind you, creating a spine twist. Sitting up tall, your fingers are like spider fingers. And then from here, once you found, try not to use your upper trapezius. Once you've found your height and your twist, go ahead and slide the rib cage from side to side, trying not to use your upper trapezius. This is a mid-back release, basically. I learned it from a physical therapist in Australia. And so this is a small movement. You can leave it out if it's too confusing. Come on back, all the way back to the other side, spine twist on the other side, right hand, left knee, left hand behind you, spider fingers, rotating to the left, rotating the thoracic spine to the left. Sitting tall, you could even take your chin and look chin to the left if you want. And now sliding the rib cage, maintaining the spine twist, and then sliding the rib cage. It's a small movement, side to side. Be sure to sit tall, everybody. Come on back. This time sit with stacked knees, and you need a strap. You need a yoga strap. I'm sorry I didn't mention that, I think, in the beginning. So you're going to stack your knees one on top of the other. Where's my strap? Hold on, oh, there's my strap. And put a strap on, let's put a strap. If your right knee is on top, put a strap on the left. And then your left hand grabs the bottom of the strap. Your right hand, is that right? No, your right hand grabs the bottom of the strap. Your left hand grabs the top of the strap. You're just going to give yourself, while I time. So stack your knees. And once again, if this is hard for you, well, do your best. You also may want to be seated on a brick or a block. So you're just going to, for the entire time, you're going to be scrubbing your back. So scrubbing your back with your strap. Up and down. It can be very small.
Okay, what am I doing wrong here?
Your strap is over your left shoulder. Your right hand is behind you.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah. Your left hand is grabbing to the top of the strap, and now scrubbing your back. And that's the best way I can. This is a very. This is the preparation for a very nice yoga pose called. Well, it's the upper part of cow pose. Okay. Everybody switch sides, switch your stacked knees also. I love the stacked knee pose. It's great for releasing the SI joint And the piriformis, it's really good for the lower back. So this time, your strap is on the right. Your knee is, the top knee is the left knee. The strap is on the right. Your, let's see, your left hand grabs the back, bottom of the strap. Your right hand grabs the top. And just start scrubbing up and down. It can be small. It might get bigger. Maybe not today. Just up and down you go. You could do this while you're watching TV. There's actually a back scrubbing component to this, or a back scratching. I should call it back scratching. Up and down you go. Try to sit tall. Keep your chest open. And breathing. And coming out of that, and coming up to standing with a block and a therapy ball. Do you have a tennis ball, Annie? Do you have any balls? If you don't have a ball, you could use a washcloth scrunched up, or a sock. I think actually a rolled up sock would be better than a washcloth.
So we're
We're going
standing,
to be facing the wall. We're going to do a chest opener facing the wall. One of my favorite chest openers. I don't know why I don't do it more often. But everyone else will know it but Annie. And so you have a block in front of you. If you have a lot of boobage, you might want a larger brick. So it brings your chest farther away from the wall. You're going to put the brick on the wall, and you're going to put your ball, your therapy ball, or your something, whatever you have. You're going to put it at the corner where the pec minor meets the arm bone. You're going to put it there. You can find, there's a little tender spot there. You're going to find that spot. And find it first maybe, and then put that spot on the ball, and the ball on the brick, and the brick on the wall. Okay, sounds like a child's rhyme. So there you are, just pressing first, compression first. This is opening up the chest. Stay here and breathe. And then start bending your knees so that you're going up and down with the ball. Up and down. In that same little space, it's not a very big move, but you should start to feel breathless. I do. With all this work, I feel breathless because of what it does to open the chest. I must close my chest a lot. Up and down, and then a small movement to the side. Now, because I am the teacher and I can't really do this and also talk at the same time, which is one of the reasons Kathy is the model instead of me, I can't do this. So what I do is I do a little something else, and you could do this too while you're watching TV. I do the same sort of thing, just with my ball in my hand. Where am I? I don't know if people can see me, just right here. So, but the last thing we're going to do here, so we've done compression, up and down, side to side, and now we're going to place the ball at a slightly different position at the outside edge of the bottom of the clavicle, and then still on the brick. And then you're going to roll it all the way across to the sternum, to the middle, and then roll it all the way back. And then all the way across. And you should feel, this is an area where there's lots of little tendons and ligaments that go up underneath the clavicle They never get touched, and they often get tight. And this is posture. This is postural stuff, you guys. This is going to help you open your chest and stand up straight.
Better without a shirt, by the way.
Better without a shirt. Everything therapy ball wise is better without skin on skin. Just that's, but that is not going to happen. I can guarantee you that that is not going to happen in this class. This is not a nude class or even an almost nude. After you've done that a couple more times, all the way, remember, we were all the way across along the bottom of the clavicle. Switch to the other side. This time you're going to place your ball again where the pec minor meets. It's a little point where the pec minor meets the arm bone in the front. And then you're going to just compress, press, press, press. And then go up and down, small up and down. You can bend your knees and do this. The bending of the knees will make the movement for you. And then a small side to side motion in the same area. Don't go very far. And then finally, relocate the ball. It's a little bit different. You have to find your clavicle, your collarbone, and locate it at the outside edge of the collarbone, and then roll it all the way across the collarbone, underneath the collarbone to the sternum, and then roll it all the way back. And all the way across, and just keep going. And a couple more times. And hopefully I've left you breathless with that. Find your way onto the floor for a prone series. Just come into a child's pose first. Onto the floor, onto your hands and knees, and then drop your hips behind you. Your knees can be wide or your knees can be closer. You may want to put a brick underneath your buttocks or a pillow between your butt and the floor. This should be a fairly comfortable pose, although we're going to add a shoulder stretch. Or actually, we're going to add we're going to do the thread the needle, which is a shoulder stretch. But so pull your arm, find your child's pose, then take your arms straight out in front of you, and then take your right arm and thread it underneath the left armpit. Now, if you have cranky shoulders, this is going to look different. Then you're not going to be able to get as much going on here. But I'm going to time this for 30 seconds, just so we have some structure here. Staying here and breathing, you should feel a nice stretch across the back of your shoulder. And try to keep the left armpit parallel to the floor if you can. And just stay here. We have about 8 more seconds. And go ahead and switch sides. This time the right arm goes up and the left arm threads. You can see a little bit more how this looks on the back side. Staying here and breathing. You can look in the same direction as that, well, in the same direction as your armpit. Really nice shoulder work. Come on back. Find your way onto your belly for a back bend, a back extension. This is actually a Pilates. My version is from Pilates, but you're going to lie on the floor. Your arms are going to be by your hips, palms up. And now from here, take an inhale to prepare, and then an exhale to lift your chest, your arms, and your head. Remember, your head is in a head ramping position, so it's dropped a little. And then just stay here and breathe. And if you can, you may want, if you want to, you could lift your chest a little higher. If you can find a little more of an extension. This is a chest opener and a back extension. And come on down. We're going to do it again, only this time we're going to add arms, airplane arms to it. Take an inhale, and then to prepare, and an exhale to come on up. Take another inhale, and then take an exhale and bring your arms out to the side. And just stay here and breathe. You can stay up as long as you can. And remember, the chin is dropped a little bit because your skull is moving away from your shoulders. And if you want to, you can come up a little higher. But if you need to, you can come down early. This is great for, it's not only a bone building exercise, which it is, but it's also builds muscle strength along the spine. And go ahead and inhale and then exhale, come on down. And now take your arms out into your sides like airplane on the floor, but keep your chest, your arms, and your armpits on the floor. Look to the right. Lift your right leg up and over across your other leg. And this is a really nice, even though it doesn't look like it, it's a middle back, upper back mobility work. And often when we have lower back issues or other mobility issues, we think they're in the lower back. They also involve the upper back, which is not doing the work it's supposed to do, so the lower back is doing the work. So this way we release the upper back and mid back so it can do the work. Come on back. That it's supposed to do. Look to the left, left leg comes up, over, behind, and there you are. The only thing you do, you can do anything you want with your hips and your legs. The only thing you need to do is keep your armpits, arms, and shoulders flat on the floor. If you have upper back tightness, mid back tightness, I would do this a lot. But it's a nice pair with or a triplet with some of the work we also did just before it, the two moves before it. Shoulder stretch, child's pose, shoulder stretch, and then the back extension. Go ahead and come on out. Find your way onto your back for the closing of the class, Yoga Nidra. I want you to be warm and comfortable. So if that may mean that you want to put a blanket over you. It may mean you want to put a washcloth over your eyes so that your eyeballs drop more deeply into the sockets, more resting. I'm going to guide you through Yoga Nidra, which means that you do not move anything, but you move your attention to the points, body points that I mentioned, without moving your body, that body part. Starting with your breath, breathing in and breathing out, observing your belly as it rises and falls. Now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, knee, ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, left knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes the 61-point guided meditation. Go ahead and extend your legs. You're going to start to come back into the room and feel everything, the whole room, your whole body. And just extend your legs in one direction, your arms up overhead in the other direction, stretching and pulling and wiggling and seeing if you can create a little more space between your pelvis and your rib cage, right and left and right. And then wiggle your fingers and your toes and wiggle, circle your wrists and your ankles. One direction and then the other. Hug your knees. Hug one knee to your chest first. Hug your right knee first, and then your left. And then hug both knees and rock them from side to side. And then at some point, roll all the way over, whenever you're ready, all the way over to the floor in a fetal position. Use your bottom arm as a pillow. Use your top arm to press into the floor. Bring yourself up to seated. Please unmute yourself when you come up. I'm going to take Kathy off of the spotlight. I'm going to change my view to gallery so I get to see everybody. And we're going to close the class with Namaste. Just go ahead and bring your hands into prayer pose. Sit cross-legged comfortably. Your hands in a prayer pose. Press your hands together really strongly. So see if you can find your scapula, the scapula we were working with. Press, 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 press. Now go ahead and let that go. Just a soft prayer pose. Lift the skull, the base of your skull up towards the sky, away from your shoulders, so that you can roll the skull, nod the skull forward over your cervical spine. The spine stays straight. Nod, nod, coming forward, bowing, bowing to each other, acknowledging, recognizing, and acknowledging the light in each other. And recognizing that we are all one light. And now we will say to each other to close the class, Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, everybody, and
Thank you very much.
thank you and welcome.
Thank you.
And afterwards, I'm gonna stop the recording. People